Do you guys like it? Do you guys like what you see here? Do you like what we got down in San Antonio? The youth, the depth, the talent. Preseason is underway, 2-1, and this roster is looking good. There's an article breaking down overreactions and underreactions so far in the preseason, and we're going to break that down here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to Brian. I want to give a shout out to Josh and everybody who else helps at Spurs Digest here with me, because I did have to take a little bit of time away. I had some family stuff, and then that just went insane. My entire life was just crazy for a week. Got stitches in the arm here, but hey, it's okay. It's great. And they held it down. We're booming. They're growing this channel, and I appreciate all of you guys here for tuning into them because they're great creators, and then also kicking it here with me as we talk Spurs. But if you guys haven't gotten a chance to, hit that subscribe button, take a Spur of the moment, get every Spurs moment, and without further ado, let's get right into it. We've got 3 overreactions to the San Antonio Spurs preseason games. Of course, we see it's only the preseason. These games don't count. They're 2-1 though, and goodness gracious, do they look good. But let's talk about it here. Preseason ripe for overreaction, both positive and negative, while keeping in mind that success and failures are not guaranteed to translate to the regular season. Some players have defied expectations, and there are already emerging storylines to look for as the Spurs prepare for the regular season. Here are 3 overreactions that might impact the regular season once it starts. First one, Stephon Castle is really, really good. Duh. I don't think this is an overreaction, people. We see what he's doing. He might not be shooting what he's going to shoot in the preseason and the regular season. It's fine. It's a 3-game sample, but we break it down. We'll get right into it right here. 4th overall pick. The general expectation was that he would take a little while to settle into his new role. Of course, defensively, he was always going to be that. Offensively, where are you going to find your niche with Wemby? How are you going to play off of Chris Paul? Or are you going to start? You coming off the bench? What kind of minutes? How are you going to play along Vassell or others? The things that he was going to have to work through. We know the talent is there, and now it's putting the talent onto the court, making it work, and he's doing so. So far, he is ahead of schedule. And playing point guard in the NBA, that is a difficult task. I know people make it look easy, and obviously with positionless basketball, you see a lot of different players. You see even 6-7 point guards as Luka is. Obviously, LeBron's always been a point forward. So point guard in the league is difficult. And the thing with the Spurs is they've got 2 good ones, and possibly a 3rd good one, Stephon Castle being that 3rd, because Tre Jones and Chris Paul have already shown that they can play point guard at a high level. Chris Paul at an elite level, Tre Jones at a high level in this league. The main concern was his shooting, but he's dispelled any of those shootings thus far. Obviously, it's 3 games, but this is overreaction for a reason. It's 3 games. I think this can continue. When you're in the lab, you're working, and you're getting better 3-point looks. Obviously, Donovan Clingan in the paint last year, you've got that, and he was a ball handler, but he also played off the wing as well. He kind of depended with the backcourt there at UConn. But you've got Wemby, who can also stretch the 4. You've got people who are going to take more shooting prowess in the NBA on this roster comparatively to that UConn team. That UConn team was grit, was tough. They could get out in transition, but they were going to lock you down. They lowered the score of the game, great, but they could go score 90 on you. They could go put 100 on you. The UConn team was great. That's why they were back-to-back for a reason. But we're overreacting here. Why? Because look at this. So in college, 34 games, shot 26.7% from 3. Got it. In Summer League, only 25% from 3, but you see the 17, 4, and 6. The point guard talent is there. And then 11, 3, and 2, that's fine. The 3 turnovers was only 3 assists. That's got to be worked on a little bit. But 42.9% from 3 on not just 2 or 3 threes. He's taking a good deal of threes thus far in this preseason. Working on your game, working on your craft, and getting the opportunity. This guy has the ability to shoot the ball at a high level. 35% is what he needs. And if he does that, lock up Rookie of the Year. Put it away, put it in the pocket, throw it away, because we got Stephon Castle on it already. The Spurs are going to be a hotbed for awards this season. We'll get into that closer as we get into preseason predictions for the regular season. But Stephon Castle done. We got Riley Minix, an elite shooter? This guy out of Morehead State, undrafted, of course undrafted. Pop likes to pluck these guys here. RC likes to do his thing. They like to find talent, and they're like, you know what, let's just go over here and let's get this guy talented. This guy, career on the verge of ending. However, they signed him to the Summer League team, played so well, they earned a training camp contract with one two-way spot remaining. Minix has been a favorite to earn that contract, and there have been rumblings that the Spurs could waive someone and give him a full roster spot. He has been cooking thus far. And then in the preseason, averaging 7.7 in limited minutes, but he has made 4 of his 7 threes. Doesn't mind contact, moves well without the ball, can score from anywhere, which could help relieve Wemby on offense. The thing that you need with this Spurs roster, shooting. Just continue to shoot. That's all you really need. That's all we care about is shooting. Because we got Vassell. We understand Vassell's going to be out for a little bit of time, but Vassell can get downhill. Stephon Castle can get downhill. Keldon Johnson can get downhill if need be. He's not the playmaker. Those others two are. Chris Paul obviously in the pick and roll. We saw even the one lob with them and him and Wemby just foreshadowing what's going to look like this year. It's going to be sick. And then you've got Wemby. Obviously people are going to double team him. If you can just kick and shoot, you get 40% shooters around Tim. You can't just double. You have to have smart doubles. You have to hedge rather than double. When that happens, then you get the ball whipping, ball moving. You get Wemby in great spots to attack by him lonesome. This guy could be very pivotal. And Pop even says he's a tough young man and a pleasant surprise. That is what you love to hear from a guy who has coached the likes of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and the list goes on and all. David Robinson, the Admiral, Avery Johnson. We could go on and on with the amount of people he's coached. We could go over to obviously his overseas experience. He's really coached and he's really put his fingerprints on a lot of people's careers and a lot of people's success in the NBA and in the Olympic world too. But Minix, I think a very interesting piece for this team. You saw he averaged 20.9 points, close to 10 rebounds at Morehead State, 6'7", 230, so not a small body by any means. Obviously, he could switch out. Defensively, that's where the question's kind of going to lie a little bit, but offensively, if he can continue that 35% shooting from 3, he's definitely going to be a focal point for the offense, and when it comes to spacing, when it comes to being able to open the floor up for the creators that we have on this roster. But we move on to the third and final one. Julian Champagnie is a starter. This is the guy who could fill in for Devin Vassell. I love having him in the starting lineup, and truly, they're going to talk about it here. I agree with it. I think you should put him in the lineup over Harrison Barnes, and I'll give you reasons why here shortly. But last year, Champagnie opted into the starting lineup, relegated Keldon Johnson to the bench. He's clearly the 5th option in the starting lineup, but averaged a respectable 7.6 points, shot 35.8% from deep as a starter. On the entire season, this guy put up 6.8, 3 and 1.5. He shot 36.5% for the entirety of the season last year, not just his stint as a starter. So he is showing to be a more than capable 3-point shooter, but it gets even better as you guys have seen this preseason. In the preseason, he's been the Spurs' best player, and it hasn't been close. In 3 games, averaging 16, and has shot 48.1% from deep on a substantial volume. He picked an excellent time to go on a heater. With the mentorship of Harrison Barnes, it's safe to say Champagnie's improvement could be the new normal. I completely agree. Shooting is elite. The defense, which is already solid, looks to be much improved from last season. Spurs expected, obviously, to have Paul, Vassell, Barnes, Sochan, Wemby, but Champagnie making an argument that he can start while Vassell's out, which I like because it gives you Chris Paul's small in the defensive prowess. He's got the mind to play defense still. He doesn't have the body to play defense still at that elite level like he used to. He can definitely be a serviceable defender, but he's not going to stay with these quick guards in the league anymore. He just doesn't have the length. And he doesn't have the length or the body before. He was able to do it with his mind, his grit, his energy, his toughness, but he doesn't have that, obviously, at the same level as he used to. But you have Paul, so you get Harrison Barnes, a quality defender. You get Champagnie, who is more than a quality defender. Sochan, who's absolutely a plus defender. And then Wemby, who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. All of that together can hide Chris Paul and make it so that defense is still a very formidable unit even with Vassell out, and Vassell can play defense himself too. But Champagnie, I would love to have him in the starting lineup. And honestly, I understand what Harrison Barnes does. He is a veteran, but I think having a veteran presence like that coming off the bench could do wonders for that bench unit. You've got Stephon Castle, young guy, rookie. You've got Keldon Johnson trying to adapt into a new role. You've got Zach Collins, a younger player. Obviously, we know what Zach Collins really is. He's actually been showing up and playing pretty well in this preseason as well. It's going to be interesting to see his ascension. But you've got younger pieces along the bench. Tre Jones has definitely been in this league for a few years now, so not a veteran per se, but he has been around the league. He knows what he's doing. But getting a piece like Harrison Barnes on that bench to kind of cool things down, calm things down, be another guy who can get his shot off a bounce if he needs to. You can run late in the shot clock, you feel a little bit comfortable with Harrison Barnes. Not that Champagnie can't, but it is the preseason. We've seen a few moments. We'll see if he can adapt. And if that's the case, having a younger athletic guy to take some of the best wings on the floor for the Spurs could be very, very interesting for the San Antonio Spurs. But not only has he been a dead-eye shooter, but his off-ball movement has made him a favorite of Wemby. And if you're going to be a favorite of Wemby, that means you're going to be a favorite of Pop. Favorite of Pop means you're a favorite of Spurs Nation. So I think Julian Champagnie, as long as his play continues, you might start Harrison Barnes to start the year, but I think that switch between Harrison Barnes and Champagnie, having Harrison Barnes go to the bench once Vassell comes back rather than Champagnie, depending on his play, I think could be a very great wrinkle for the San Antonio Spurs this season. But overall, 3 preseason games. Minix, Castle, Champagnie. Will they return to earth, or will it seem that they're doing their job and getting better in the points that they need to? Minix showing that he can be on a roster. Castle showing that he can be not just a okay, but a good shooter. And Champagnie showing that he is a starter level in this league right now. All of that being said, I'm loving what the San Antonio Spurs roster is doing. It's getting me excited for this season. It's getting me excited for everything. The Spurs fans, you can feel a different energy comparatively to last year or the year before. Last year was, how good is Wemby? We figured that out. Check, box, only box that mattered. How good is Wemby? Can Sochan play the point guard? Keldon Johnson, what's going on there? Other than that, doesn't really matter. But Wemby checked the box. The year before, we had nothing really to play for. We saw the ascension of Keldon Johnson. We saw Vassell take steps. So this year, though, this team has a real chance to do something, to actually get to playoff games, to get some playoff wins. Not that they need to be focused on championship, but they need to be focused on moving in the right direction. They have multiple picks. I understand that getting a lower pick, getting someone like Cooper Flagger, the litany of guys in this draft would be great, but you also have that Atlanta pick, and that pick could be that while you're doing well. It could be a similar situation to Boston, maybe not a championship, but 85-86 when they win that championship there, and then they come off of that and they get that Len Bias pick. Unfortunately, he passes before he can get on the court, but they have the number 2 pick, plus they have a great season. You could have a great season from the San Antonio Spurs, plus getting a really good pick to couple with the San Antonio Spurs front line, their depth, and their stardom. So I couldn't be more excited. If it seems like I'm overreacting, good, because I might be, but I'm still excited. The Spurs have a lot to be excited about now. We haven't been able to have winning thoughts in a minute now. It's been a minute since we've been able to get winning thoughts, and I love it. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments. Do you think Minix should be on the roster? Do you think he should either get a 2-way contract or actually be on the roster? Do you believe that Stephon Castle may not shoot 43%, that's Steph range, but do you think think he can get to 35, 36% in his rookie year? And do you think Julian Champagnie is the guy who should replace Vassell and move forward? But this has been Spurs Digest with Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you guys very soon.